Now we use the generalized output expression. We use the generalized output expression to calculate the V naught DC. We know that V naught DC is 0 because the average voltage across inductor, it is 0. Okay, that is we know. But we want to calculate the average voltage across inductor. That is because what? Because of cross multiplication. Okay, already we have calculated through integration. We have taken V naught from alpha to 2 pi minus alpha, and when we have integrated, we have got 0. So that is what the second way. The first way is directly the average voltage across inductor is 0. That is the first way. The second method is take the V naught, the instantaneous output voltage, and you integrate it from alpha to 2 pi with 2 pi interval. Then also you get what? V naught DC is 0. V naught DC is VLDC. V naught DC is VLDC. That is 0. The third way of finding the VLDC, that is the most efficient way. That is through the generalized expression. We will calculate the VLDC. In this case, it is V naught DC through the generalized expression. Already we have seen the generalized expression. Just we have to substitute the things. It is the most powerful way. So what I have to do? I am writing the generalized expression. P naught DC equal to what? The number of pulses into the maximum voltage divided by 2 pi. This is the cycle interval. So you have to remember it in a logical way. That's why every time I am repeating. This is the pulse number, maximum voltage. This is the cycle interval. Since I am taking the sine wave, after integration I get the cos alpha. From this instant the output appears, plus diode angle minus cos beta. Okay, now I have to put what? Single pulse, what? Inductive load, single pulse inductive load. So what? N equal to 1, diode angle is 0. Okay, alpha is given. Beta we have found it is 2 pi minus alpha. Okay, beta we have found it is 2 pi minus alpha. How we have calculated beta? Beta we can get it from the current waveform. So if you write VLDC, in this case it becomes V naught DC, but N is 1 V max divided by 2 pi. Here this is N is 1 V max. Okay, V max meaning Vm, because Vs equal to Vm is the same omega. So V max becomes Pm divided by cycle interval into cos alpha plus 0 divided by 0 minus cos beta. Beta is what? 2 pi minus alpha. So cos alpha and cos 2 pi minus alpha are equal. So I get 0. So what I have to do? The average voltage across inductor, it is 0. The same thing I have proved. Okay. This is the most efficient way of doing the average voltage. This is the most efficient way of doing the average voltage. Many problems have come on, the inductive load. It is very easy and very important. Directly, alpha is given, calculate beta at the conduction angle. Let us suppose alpha is given, and then we have to identify the current waveform. So these kind of questions are given. It is the most easiest case. Directly, straight away we can pick the beta value. Now we want to calculate the commutation time. So for calculating the commutation time, we have to draw the voltage across the resistor, meaning the voltage across this, that is Vt. If you apply KVL for the circuit, Vs equal to Vt plus V0. So this Vs should be equal to sum of V0 plus Vt. Okay. You see, here Vs is there, but V0 is 0. Thereby, in this portion, we get Vt equal to Vs. What we are having is Vs equal to V0 plus Vt. For 0 less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to alpha, V0 is 0. V0 is 0 implies what? Vt equal to Vs. For alpha less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to 2 pi minus alpha, Vt is 0 because thyristor is conducting. So from alpha less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to 2 pi minus alpha, my SCR conducts. When it conducts, straight away I can get Vt. Here I can straight away get Vt. So Vt is 0 from alpha to 2 pi minus alpha. Next, for 2 pi minus alpha less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to 2 pi plus alpha. In this case, my thyristor doesn't conduct. So what I have? V0 equal to 0. So what I get is Vt equal to Vs. The voltage across thyristor is same as the supply voltage. Here it is negative. So I get the negative part of supply voltage. And after 2 pi, it is positive. This is 2 pi. 2 pi plus alpha. This is 2 pi minus alpha. Okay. And the same thing repeats from 2 pi plus alpha to 4 pi minus alpha. Again, this voltage is 0. And from 4 pi minus alpha to 4 pi, the voltage is same as the supply voltage. So this is the voltage across thyristor Vt. Again I am repeating. This is a series circuit. The supply voltage is nothing but the sum of Vt and V0. So that is the KVL. Applying KVL. Now we are looking piece by piece. For 0 less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to alpha, my thyristor is not conducting. It is forward biased, but still I am not turning on. So it is not conducting. Switch is off. The current is 0. The V0 is 0. The moment when V0 is 0, Vt equal to Vs. And for alpha less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to 2 pi minus alpha, this is the second interval I am taking. Here the SCR is conducting. V0 is straight away 0. And for alpha less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to 2 pi minus alpha, my thyristor is conducting. So Vt is straight away 0. V0 equal to Vs. I am interested in Vt. So Vt value is 0 from alpha to 2 pi minus alpha. Again, for 2 pi minus alpha to 2 pi plus alpha, my thyristor is not conducting. So the current is 0. Again the same story. V0 is 0. Vt equal to Vs. The same thing I am writing. So I have got the voltage across thyristor. I want to find out the commutation time. Commutation time is the time for which the SCR is reverse biased. Out of this waveform, only this portion reverse biases the thyristor. So this gives me the commutation time. So omega Tc is from what? 2 pi minus alpha to 2 pi. This interval length is alpha. So Tc is what? Alpha by omega seconds. So my computation time is alpha by omega. For calculating the computation time, I have to see when I am getting the reverse voltage across the thyristor. I am getting reverse voltage across the thyristor in this portion, that is 2 pi minus alpha to 2 pi. So 2 pi minus alpha to 2 pi, that is for a period of alpha, the voltage across thyristor is negative. But alpha corresponds to omega t time. So Tc I multiply with omega. Thereby omega Tc equal to alpha. Tc computation time is alpha by omega seconds. So this is how to calculate the Tc. The higher the value of alpha, I get more computation time. The lower the value of alpha, I get lesser computation time. Next, I want to calculate the power factor, the input power factor. Earlier, we have seen the power factor for the resistive load. The principle is as usual. We equate the power delivered. Who is delivering the power? The source. The power delivered by source is equal to the power absorbed. Who is absorbing the power? The load. Load is pure inductance, so it is 0. So Vs, Is, cos phi is 0. So cos phi, I say the input power factor, it is straight away 0. For calculating the input power factor, I am equating the power delivered by source equal to the power absorbed by the load. Power absorbed by the load is straight away 0 because I don't have the energy consuming element in my load. The inductor doesn't consume energy or the power. So the power absorbed is 0. That is equal to the power delivered, which is Vs, Is, cos phi. So cos phi is 0. Input power factor is 0.